Matt Rodder.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it's a pleasure to be able to speak in this afternoon's debate. Before I start, I would also like to thank the Angling Trust, Surfers Against Sewage, obviously paying tribute to their work in coastal areas and inland, and many other groups who are campaigning on this very important issue. And I would like to take this opportunity to talk about a really unpleasant incident which happened in my constituency and in neighbouring parts of Berkshire, which unfortunately illustrates the scale of the problem and the nature of what we're dealing with, and indeed the need for urgent action, far more so than has been committed to by the government. Recently, earlier this month, there was a spill which lasted for 17 hours into a local brook called Foundry Brook, sometimes known as Foundry Brook, which feeds into the River Kennet, which is one of the main tributaries of the Thames, and ultimately this sewage spill would have fed into the Thames at Reading and then obviously onward to London. And this happened in a beautiful rural setting, rolling countryside just outside Reading, and then past the town, the western edge of the town, past a nature reserve, through areas where there are people living nearby with their backs of their gardens going down to the river, next to workplaces, right next to Green Park, which is a major science park in our area with thousands of employees who like to walk past the waterways. Also carrying on into the Kennet, past County Lock, into Reading Town Centre, through the area where the Oracle Shopping Centre is, and on past more terraced housing and more flats to Kennet Mouth, where the Kennet joins the Thames. And then ultimately this dreadful slick would have continued through the rest of the Thames Valley, ultimately to the sea. That is an appalling abuse, and one which residents and people working nearby should not have to put up with. And it simply is not acceptable that this type of pollution takes place in the 21st century. And I have to say that I was near to Foundry Brook a few weeks ago. It may have been at the time of this incident or slightly before, when I was getting ready to run the Reading Half Marathon, and I could see the water and smell the water, and it really was unpleasant. I think that's a polite way to put it. It really was deeply unpleasant. There was an awful smell. There was a strange tinge to the water. It didn't look natural. It didn't look right, despite the setting with beautiful willow trees, pollarded like something out of Wind in the Willows next to the waterway. And that's what we're talking about, disgusting pollution, and there should be urgent action to tackle it. And this is just one example. In one community, I thought the Honourable Lady from North Devon spoke beautifully about her coastal community. Inland, we also have wonderful, beautiful waterways that are full of wildlife, large birds such as swans and smaller ducks and other animals, and large fish like pike and a range of other fish, animals as well. All of this is being affected, and people's enjoyment, by these terrible sewage incidents, and they simply should not be happening. And it's happening around the country. We've had a range of constituencies referenced this afternoon. It simply shouldn't be continuing, and I do think there is need for urgent action now. There needs to be a proper plan with automatic fines. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.